Hey, what's up everybody? It's Luke and you're watching Luke the Gathering. Thanks for checking out the channel and hanging out with me once again on a Friday evening. I just got back from Friday night draft. This was our very first Spider-Man draft and it was a lot of fun. We didn't do pick two. We didn't do the 4-person pod or anything like that. We had 10 people out at draft today and we had a pod of 10 and we were just drafting like normal, one card at a time, and I thought it totally went fine. No issues. The deck I drafted, the draft was actually pretty fun because I was starting to draft a certain type of card, and I was really waffling between trying to either go sort of base blue, black, or should I go green? Because all these great green cards were just passing me, and I ended up going blue-black, which I think was the right decision because I ended up being 2-1. I made it to the finals again. I lost in the finals. I'm not bitter about that. It's fine. The person had a great deck, and we had a great game. The second game, I got mana screwed because I mulliganed, and then I drew 2 lands, and then I drew 2 more cards, no land, and that was it. I just kind of scooped because they were on curve, and I had nothing. But the deck I did have was pretty sweet, and actually in that final game, it was crazy because the one card I needed to draw, we actually made it all the way down to the last 2 cards of our deck. The card I needed to win was the second to last card in my deck, and I didn't make it quite there. I was 1 card away, even though I was conniving, surveilling, doing everything I could to get there. The card that I really wanted, the card that would have won me the game, it was just out of reach. And that's how Magic is sometimes. It does that. So we'll talk about the deck. I have it right here. I got 2 packs. They're over here. 2 packs for participating in draft. It was amazing. Lots of fun, like I said. Cool to see because I've been playing Arena, and so like seeing the cards in person, getting used to the Spider-Man names again, not just the Magic names. That was something I had to get used to. Also, I wore this shirt. I don't know if you can see it, but it's Captain Picard and Dathan from... I don't know what the episode's called, but I think it's called Darmok, which is I don't know, it's like a classic Star Trek episode. Anyways, I just found out next year, in about a year and a little bit, well, a year and a little bit more, Star Trek is coming to Magic, which I think is amazing. I can't wait for that to happen. I'm just a big Star Trek geek. I also love Star Wars. Don't get me wrong, but wow, Star Trek is coming to Magic. That's never thought that would happen. Anyways, they made the announcement today. I found out about it. Blew me away. Anyways, let's check out the deck. All right, let's check out the deck. We have it here. We're going to start off with Sinister Hideout. I was black and blue, and I splashed 1 card in white, which I thought this card was great, Urban Retreat. I actually used this little funny text, the return a tap creature you control to its owner's hand part. That was really cool. So I had some good mana fixing, even though there was just 1 card in white that I had. This worked out really great. Spider Slayer, Hatred Honed. Not the best card, but if you're playing against any spiders, this is a really nice card. It's almost like a death toucher for spiders. And obviously Spider-Man, so you see a lot of spiders. Common Crook, it's an okay 2-drop, but in my deck today it didn't do much, but it was fine. Merciless Enforcers. I like this 2-drop with lifelink, but nothing too special, really. Swarm, Being of Bees. This flashes in, which is really cool. Flying and has mayhem. Today didn't do a ton. Spider Bite, though, did a lot. I love Spider Bite. Spider Bite is really powerful. It can bounce an opponent's card back to their hand, which is a really powerful ability, like a removal spell. Plus you get board presence, so that was really cool. Flying Octobot. This is a great card when you can play it early, and this deck has lots and lots of villains, so that in combination just makes this card really, really nice. You can get quite a few counters on it for only 2 mana. Beetle, Legacy Criminal, also a really nice flying 3/3. Has an exile ability out of the graveyard, which is really nice to buff something else. Inner Demon Gangsters, just kind of a solid, not the best thing ever, but a solid 4-drop. Venomized Cat mills some cards, which is great for Doc Ock. I have Doc Ock in this deck, so if you have 8 cards in the graveyard, Doc Ock becomes an 8/8. And Venomite's Cat kind of helps you do that. Plus, it's a great defender because it sits there, and you know it's hard for people to attack into it. Tombstone Career Criminal is amazing. Love this guy. He grabs something out of your graveyard. Makes sense, right? Tombstone, and then it makes all the villains 1 cheaper, which is pretty significant. So I use Tombstone to a great effect in this deck. Unstable Experiment, one of my favorite cards. You get to draw a card and then connive, which means you get to draw again, which is great. Of course, you discard a card after that. But at instant speed, it can be like a combat trick. You can play it offensively, defensively, all sorts of things. If you just really are desperate and need card draw, this does a trick. Amazing Acrobatics. I was a little bit concerned about these. I didn't get a lot of removal or any removal at all in this deck. So I was relying on some of these counter spells, and I gotta say, the counter spells made a huge difference today. This one countered a lot of things, and I got to tap creatures down, which prevented them attacking. It just did everything I needed today, and I was really happy with that. Spider-Man No More is kind of a removal spell. And actually, this was huge because it removed Electro, and you know Electro has that crazy ability to spend mana when he leaves the battlefield and like nug you. So this just took Electro out of the equation. Really great card. Secret Identity, I think this is also an amazing card. Maybe it doesn't get enough love. This is so great. It gives something hexproof for just 1 mana. It can also make something a flyer that's 3/4. I used both modes today in different games, and it was very flexible. 1 mana is a great cost, of course. One of my favorite cards. I love reanimation style effects. Prison Break is so awesome. For 5 mana, you get whatever you want out of the graveyard. That's a creature, and it gets a 1/1/1 counter on it. I mean, you can't ask for too much more than that. I was a little bit skeptical of School Days, but this card worked awesomely. It's an instant. It's a draw 3, so you can like pass the turn. You know, if they play something you really need to get rid of, you can counter their spell and then draw a card. Or at the end of the turn, if you have all your mana and you just have this card burning a hole in your pocket, you can then just use it to draw 3. This card was monumentally good. I loved this card, and I think it's I would draft it again for sure. Luckily, I got 2 Doc Ocks. There was a bunch of Doc Ocks floating around. I could have picked up more, but why would you have more than 2? I don't know. I thought 2 was really the sweet spot, especially since this guy was the big guy of the deck. Oftentimes it was 8/8, and oftentimes it was hexproof. And I had 2 Chameleons, which actually just made things just even more amazing, because then you could copy Doc Ock or copy other things, and that just leads to some insane things happening. Agent Venom was a big surprise for me. I didn't use this a lot on Arena, but did a lot of work for me today. I gotta say, really loved how Agent Venom worked. Whenever something leaves battlefield, one of your creatures, other creatures, you get a draw card, lose a life. Drew a lot of cards off this one. Drew into my win condition in one game, and has Menace and Flash, so great card. And this was my big bomb, Mr. Negative. This guy is crazy. Vigilance, Lifelink, 5/5. That's already amazing. It's a 7-drop, so pretty hard to play, but I splashed for white and it was never a problem. The crazy ability is when Mr. Negative enters, you can exchange your life total with a target opponent. And if you lost life like that, you draw that many cards. I never did that part of it, but I would always exchange life. Like I'd be like at 4 or 6, and they'd be like at 15 or 20, and I just would flip the life total, and the whole game just completely changes. And you know, you can kind of let your life total kind of slip and slide until you need to flip it once you have this in your hand. And I did that a number of times today. It felt really nice and backbreaking to the opponent. Won me a bunch of games. This is the card that, because it was the one card too deep in the deck. I had 2 cards left. This was the second to last card. I was digging and digging and digging and digging and digging. I had the surveil lands, trying to just surveil for days, and I couldn't get to it. I didn't know it was that far down. That's what lost me the game. Otherwise, I would have won the game. That's how big this card is. It can just swing a game completely. Mr. Negative, what a great card. Anyways, let's check out these packs. I got 2 prize packs today. All right, let's see, we got, these are backwards packs. We got Lizard, Connor's Curse as the rare. Secret Identity, that's cool. Silver Sable is a card I saw. I would have been in white, that would have been great. Wisecrack is also really good. Some good cards in here. Gallant Citizen, if you're in green, white, that's a really great card. And here is the second and last pack. Citizen, Sanctuary, Wrestler, Ultimate Green Goblin. Goblinoids, Chameleon, Prison Break. Great cards here too. Very cool. Guy in the chair, that's nice. Alright, so that's it. I had a great time. Can't wait till the next draft. Hopefully we'll still be in Spider-Man. I don't know what they're going to do at the store, but they said it was a little bit up in the air, but I'm crossing my fingers. I'm hoping it's Spider-Man. Alright guys, we'll see you next time.